Good morning, true crime friends. How y'all doing? Breaking true crime news. We have a jury in the Lori Vallow Daybell case. Oh my goodness, I could not be more excited. Now listen, this is the second Lori Vallow Daybell case we have covered here on Gossip, Rumor, and Innuendo. But this video, I'm going to give you the entire breakdown real fast. It's a complicated story, but don't you worry your pretty little head about it. I'm about to truncate the whole thing, and I'm going to get you all the way up to speed. Oh my goodness, there's so much to talk about. First, you know what you need to do. Please like this video and subscribe to the channel. That helps other people find us. Also find me on Instagram, Facebook, and Blue Sky. So look, Lori Vallow Daybell, trial number 2. This is what you need to understand. First, I have already talked my throat dry. Please hold. Hang on. Lori Vallow is a woman who's living out there in the West. Now listen, all them Western states, I get confused. Idaho, Iowa, whatever. She's in Utah. Look, I refer to that region as Idaho, Iowa. That covers everything basically west of Indiana. Okay. So Lori is living out there in Idaho, Iowa, and she's a regular housewife. And then this is key to the story. Lori is LDS. She's a Mormon, a Latter-day Saint. Now, people in my comments are like, don't call people Mormons, blah, blah, blah. Y'all, everybody calm down. Being called Mormon is not an insult as far as I know. LDS friends, let me know. It's nothing wrong with being Mormon. It's like saying I got a big mouth. Just the truth is truth. Anyway, so Lori Vallow was married to this dude. What was his name? Oh, I can't even keep track. She was married to Charles Vallow, right? And then she was like, okay, I'm over here. I'm raising a couple kids. She had a kid of her own. She adopted a child with her husband. And she's just living her regular life. And then she was like, you know what I'm really super duper into? I'm super into being Mormon. And then she was like, being a regular Mormon was not enough for her. She was like, I want to be a better than you Mormon. You know the better than you Mormons. Look, every level of everything has a better than you level, right? It's a secretary at your job. There's like the regular secretaries and then the better than you secretaries. Down to the PTA, it's the regular moms and it's the better than you PTA moms, right? There's always a better than you level, right? So Lori Vallow Daybell was like, I am going to be a better than you Mormon. I'm going to do all the Mormon-y things, and I'm going to go to the temple 100,000 times a week, and I'm going to baptize everybody, whatever. And then she's like, this is still not scratching my itch. So I'm going to go to the very next level. Now, the next level is where things get dangerous. She became what we refer to as a zombie Mormon. The zombie Mormons are the folks who feel like they're holy and everybody else is zombies. And you know, what do you do to zombies? You kill them, girl. So Lori was like, okay, so now that I'm holy and exalted, I feel like I should start, unfortunately, unaliving all these people that are around me that I don't really like that good. So Lori Vallow hooked up with another better than you Mormon who became a zombie Mormon, Chad Daybell. And Chad was like, certain people are zombies, and so we got to take them off this mortal coil. And Lori was like, that sounds like a really good idea. You know who are the most zombiest of the zombies? Anybody who's standing in the way of me and you being together and doing nasty things, despite the fact that me and you were both married. So Lori was like, okay, my kids really are harsh in my vibe, and they're standing in the way of us dating. So she dispatched with her kids. Terrible. She unfortunately unalived her kids, and she was convicted of that in, northern Idaho, Iowa. And so she's sentenced to life in prison. Prior to dispatching her kids, she decided that her fourth husband, Charles Vallow, was also a Mormon, and so was also a zombie, and so she had her brother, unfortunately, unalive her husband, Charles Vallow, and that's what she's on trial for now. Now, you're like, well, how come the brother is not on trial? The brother is no longer on this side of glory. Now, was it natural causes? Did he unfortunately unalive himself? Did somebody else unalive him? Child, unclear. We do not know what happened to the brother. Now, the coroner said it was natural causes, but the gospel, according to Kathy, honey, he unfortunately unalived himself. On the word of crazy Lori Vallow Daybell and her husband, Chad Daybell. Yes, her fifth husband. And you're like, how does a nice, regular funeral potato Mormon lady turn into this level of crazy? Let's go back and talk a little bit of history on Lori Vallow. Hang on. Lori married her first husband. Look, 5 husbands, remember, 5. Lori married her first husband shortly after high school. She's like, I'm cute, you're cute, we're very holy. Let's go get together and oochie each other's coochie. Oh, maybe we should get married first. And so they go on and get married. And then her whole family was like, him? Girl, I know you did not marry this man. And she was like, oops, mom and dad, I'm so sorry. Okay, I'm going to divorce him. And then after she divorced him, she's like, okay, I'm going to be single. Ooh, who is this over here? And then she married husband number 2. She really, really, really enjoyed getting married. So she marries husband number 2 and she has a baby. That baby is Colby. Colby is now grown and he's still alive. Thank goodness. Hey, Colby, how you doing? So she marries Colby's dad and they have this beautiful baby. And she's like, this is really wonderful. I don't want to be married to you no more. Thank you and goodbye. So she divorces him. Husband number 3 was Joe Ryan. And she's like, this man is going to be the miracle of my life. Oh my goodness. I know it's taking me 3 tries, but don't you worry. I have found the perfect man. Joe Ryan. Oh, he's just so dreamy. Oh, look, I have my son, Kobe, and Joe is really, really good with my son, Colby. And so now we have this beautiful baby, Tylee. This is so wonderful. And then they have these 2 kids, a boy and a girl, and they're going to live happily ever. Oops. She decides that this is not going good for her and she wants a divorce. And not only does she want a divorce, she hates husband number 3. And she wishes he were no longer on this mortal coil. Put a pin in that. And so she was like, oh, no. I've really, really met the miracle of my life now. Charles Vallow. Oh, Charles, he's so wonderful. Now, we too old to still be having babies, but we're going to raise. Charles has 2 kids. I have 2 kids. We're going to live together in marital bliss forever and ever. And then Charles was like, Lori, you are the most perfect wife ever. You go to the temple. You're raising good kids. Life is wonderful. You're beautiful. I'm handsome. We have a lot of money. This could not get any better. Oh, my nephew had a baby and he's not able to take care of it. And the baby has like some learning delays and things like that. This is what we're going to do. We're going to adopt my nephew's baby and we're going to raise that baby together. And it's going to be amazing. And so the grandma of that baby, Kay Woodcock, is like, y'all are so wonderful with little, Canaan was his original name. Y'all are so wonderful with little Canaan. Y'all go ahead and y'all adopt him and it's going to be wonderful. Oh, and Lori was Mother of the Year. Oh, she's living her best life. Canaan's name got changed to JJ. Right? And so she was just like, little JJ Vallow. Oh, he's the miracle of my life. I'm so patient with him. I'm so wonderful. And then she was like, my life does not seem that exciting. Also, I have a little bit of a ticklish brain. I'm going to go to the temple some more. And I'm going to really, really, really get into being like a prepper in end times. The end times is when, like the end of the world happens and it's an apocalypse and stuff. She started being real excited for the apocalypse. Girl, y'all ain't think that was crazy? Because I'm looking around like she was a normal lady and now she's real super duper excited for the end times. Okay, she was excited for the end times. Okay, so she was taking her kids and learning all about the end times and reading all the end times books and everything. And her and all her friends were like, end times. They really, really wanted it badly. And according to them, you had to stock up a bunch of food and tents. Wait, the end times, I can't stay in a hotel. Listen, take me in the first round. Swoop me off to wherever I'm gonna be. If it comes to the end times and I have to sleep in a tent, no, thank you. Take me in the first round. I don't want to stay. I don't want to eat beans out of a can. I don't want to live in a tent. Can you imagine the thread count on the sheets in a tent? No, thank you. Anyway, these people were super duper excited to live in white tents in northern Idaho. They not gonna have a 4 seasons in the end time? Not a Marriott? A Residence Inn? Nothing? Okay. Yeah, I don't want to go. I don't want to go. Anyway, so they were just like, the end times are going to be really wonderful. And there's people who are writing books about the end times. And we feel like we are going to be the leaders in the end time at the tent camp. So Lori and all of her end times friends started studying it and praying about it. And then she meets Chad Daybell. Now, husband, Charles Vallow, with whom she adopted young JJ, was like, girl, can you just come home and cook dinner and stop worrying about white tents and packing up beans and stuff? And she's like, oh, I really, really need to be with my end time prepper people. You don't get me. I think you might be a zombie. And he was like, what is a zombie? What are you talking about? Clearly, your brain is a little ticklish. You need to go on down to the nervous hospital. And she's like, I'm not going to go to the nervous hospital. I'm going to go live in a tent with all of my end-time prepper people. And he was like, boop, 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 boop. Hello, police. My wife done lost her whole entire mind. She wants to live in a tent and not at the Four Seasons. And the police were like, oh, that sounds crazy to us too, but we're going to check it out. And so when the police came, she was like, hi, how are you? She had long, pretty blonde hair, and she was like twirling it in her finger like, Ossifer, I just want to live in a tent. My husband thinks I'm crazy. And the police officer were like, ooh, pretty privilege. Hey, pretty lady. I'm sure this is just a misunderstanding between you and your husband. Now, your husband says you keep threatening to unfortunately unalive him. That seems very unlikely because you're pretty and look at your tiny little waistline. And she's like, I know. And the cops are just like, oh, okay, I'm sure that you're not really planning to unfortunately unalive him. So we're just going to let you go. Enjoy your tent and your canned beans. Have a good day. And she's like, thank you so much, Ossifer. I mean, that's the gospel according to me. These are not quotes of what happened. I'm just giving you the broad strokes of what happened, right? And so Charles, her husband, was like, can we just take care of the kids and continue to go on nice vacations and stuff? And she's just like, you are a demon. In my mind, her voice changed when she was talking about it. I don't know that that's actual facts. You're not here for facts, child. You're here for gossip. Anyway, so he was just like, y'all, I mean, I know she's real pretty and stuff, and she has that cute figure and the blonde hair and everything, but yeah, help. My wife is talking about unfortunately unaliving me, but nobody believed Charles. I mean, did they think Lori was crazy? Yeah, it was real clear she was crazy when she started talking about tents and stuff, but people were just like, she's not like really gonna unalive you. And then the next thing you know, he was no longer on this mortal coil, and people were like, oh, wait, maybe she was serious when she talked about sweeping him off this mortal plane. So now Charles is over there at the Endless Heaven buffet being like, I told y'all so. Can I get some more prime rib, please? Because you know, at the Endless Heaven buffet, you could just have as much as you want and you never gain weight. Anyway, so Lori was just like, okay, sadly, my husband has passed away. My brother got into a fight with him and unfortunately unalived him. Lori was there when the unaliving happened, and she was like, Ossifer, oh my goodness, I don't know what happened. He and my brother got into an argument, and it was self-defense. My brother pew-pewed him up in self-defense. Please don't arrest me. Aren't I cute? And the police were like, oh, well, this seems terrible. Okay, you're free to go. See, also pretty privilege. Anyway, so Lori was like, okay, I'm going to take my two kids and I'm going to move from southern Idaho to northern Idaho so I could be with my new boyfriend who looks like a thumb, by the way, Chad Daybell, husband number 5, author of End Times books, who looked strikingly like a thumb. Look up a picture, y'all. That boy looked like a thumb. Anyway, so she was just like, Colby is grown and off living his own life. He's got kids. She's a grandma. Oh, she's a real pretty grandma. And she has her 2 kids, Tylee and JJ, and she's over there romancing the thumb, right? And they're preparing with the tents, and they have a whole group of people who are also super excited about the end times. I do not know what is wrong with people. And then her boyfriend at the time, Chad Daybell, was like, everything is going really good. No problem. My wife is still on this side of glory, and I think we need to usher her off to the Endless Heaven buffet so me and you can get married. And so Lori was like, hurry up and get it done. And so Chad was like, okay. And so Chad allegedly, well, he's been convicted of it now. He ushered his wife off to the Endless Heaven buffet. And he was just like, oh, my beautiful wife Tammy has gone on to glory. Ooh, now I can diddle the kibbles and bits of this nice blonde lady who was unfortunately unalived her husband and two of her children. So, oh yeah, she killed the kids. Well, they killed the kids. So, they get married and they go to Hawaii and they think they're going to live happily ever after. Meanwhile, remember when I talked about Kay Woodcock, JJ's grandma? Grandma Kay had no time for this mess. She's like, where's JJ? Where's JJ? I want to know where JJ is. I'm retired. I'm in my 50s. I got nothing but free time to worry about where is my grandson? Where's my grandson? I don't care if you're pretty. I don't care if you have privilege. You will produce my grandson. And she was just, Lori was like, he's busy. He's off enjoying himself. He's fine. And Kay Woodcock, who had no time for her mess, shout out to American hero Kay. Listen, this is what you're not going to do. You're not going to mess with a grandma who got nothing but free time and grit and determination. And that is what Miss Kay Woodcock had. Kay Woodcock was like, where's my baby? Where's my baby? Speaking of which, what happened to your husband and what happened to Tylee and JJ? I want to see everybody and I want to see them now. And Lori kept putting them off and shaking her bits for the police. And Kay was like, okay, I got something for you. I am retired. I have nothing but free time. Boop, 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 boop. Hello, FBI. Y'all, do not mess with grandmas. A loving grandma with some free time, that is a deadly combination. Miss Kay was like, I will make it my entire life, my entire personality to hunt your trifling behind down and find my grandbaby. And so the whole world started going, well, wait, where are these kids? Where is Kay's grandbaby? Somebody better start to answering. And Lori was like, hamina. She fled to Hawaii. Beautiful, beautiful Hawaii. And then we see East Idaho news reporter Nate Eaton down in Hawaii like, Lori, where are the kids? Lori, can you tell us where the children are? Lori was just like, we're on our way to the pool. I don't know what you're talking about. I mean, the kids are fine. And Nate Eaton was like, we'll be back with more news on what this trifling heifer is up to, but I think she done did something terrible to the kids. I mean, that's not exactly what Idaho reporter Nate Eaton said, but that is the spirit of what he said. And so everybody was like, well, Nate Eaton, we're going to keep watching you so we can see exactly what happened to the kids. And then the kids were ultimately found buried in Chad's backyard, right? And everybody was like, ruh-roh. And so Chad got arrested and Lori got arrested. And then they went to trial and they got convicted. I have a whole entire playlist that covers Lori's trial and Chad's trial. I'm going to link that playlist in the description box of this video. Meanwhile, everybody was like, okay, so Chad is on death row. Lori is sentenced to life in prison. She's going to prison forever, ever for the unfortunate unaliving of her children and Chad's wife. But what about Charles Vallow? Wasn't he the first one to raise the alarm to say like, hey, my wife is acting crazy, and everybody ignored him? Finally, down there in southern Idaho, they were just like, what did happen to Charles? I mean, was this some kind of conspiracy? Was now the convicted unaliver, although she used to be really pretty. Have y'all seen her lately? The glow down is so real. Don't go to prison. Don't do crimes. You're going to look ugly. If nothing else, you will look super duper ugly when you go to prison. Nobody wants that for you. Anyway, so Lori is just like, I have been sentenced to life in prison for the unfortunate unalivings of my children and my fifth husband's wife, but I am not responsible for the unfortunate unaliving of my husband, Charles, even though he predicted his untimely death. So, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to go down to South Idaho, and I am going to be my own lawyer, and I'm going to prove to every single body that I did not do this. This is going about as well as you would think it would. Lori was like, I want to be here for the jury selection. I want to be my own lawyer. I'm going to stand up and I'm going to say learned things. Keep in mind, this woman is now in court in South Idaho, defending herself. Oh, she has lawyer drag. She has on like a nice black suit. And the judge is like, yeah, half of that's good. But listen, You are clearly unpredictable. We know your brain's a little ticklish. You're not looking good. Your Botox is worn off. Your eyebrows look like they was drawn on with a magic marker. We know you are suffering a lot from being super duper ugly. We don't know what you might do, so we're gonna put you in a stun belt just in case. And she was like, if you have armed guards at the doors, that's enough. No, it's not, ma'am. It's not. And so the judge is like, that's real nice. You're going to get a stun belt. A stun belt is basically a belt that you wear underneath your clothes. That's a taser. So somebody with a remote control is just like finger hover, like, let her do something. Let her do something. Can you imagine if a guard falls asleep and accidentally tases her? So if you see Lori sitting there like, Your Honor, I have, you know, like if she really, really freaks out, she might have got accidentally tased. I'm not going to be mad about it. Child, I'm just going to hide and watch. I'm going to be like, oh. Seemed like karma tased her to me. I don't know. Maybe the guard fell asleep, maybe not. But they have been through jury selection. Lori is up there doing lawyer drag, living her best life. Oh, she is loving this so, so much. Now, keep in mind, Lori prefers men jurors to female jurors. And she's just like, because, you know, with men, I could be like, okay, let me just slip my shirt off my shoulder a little bit and be like, hey, witness. I mean, that's not exactly what she did. That's the spirit of what she did. She did want a lot of men on this jury. And as it stands today, we have a jury of 13 men and 3 women. 4 of those jurors will be alternates. I think Lori is counting on the idea that she can seduce the men, and they're going to say that she didn't unfortunately unalive her husband. But I get the feeling this is not going to go good. Lori is not really good at reading people. Historically, she's been able to like bat her eyes and charm people and have her way. But that was before she was a 3-time convicted unfortunate unaliver. So no matter what happens in this trial, Lori is still going to spend her life in prison. I don't know why we having this trial at all. But South Idaho to Iowa, if y'all want to have this trial, oh, I'm going to be here. I'm going to cover it. I'm going to be perched. Opening statements are on Monday, April 17th, 2024. I will be there breathlessly covering every single bit of it. Like this video, subscribe to the channel, and I will see you soon. Bye.